Welcome back to Super Tuesday recap. It is Chris and Deepam here, and we are here to review Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or as I like to call it, these motherfuckers don't give a shit no more. And I mean that in the most positive, good way possible. Season 4, Episode 6 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Good Samaritan. I wonder what that means. The shocking origin story of Robbie's transition to Ghost Rider is revealed. The lives of Coulson and the team hang in the balance. Dude.
I'm done talking for free on this podcast, by the way. I'm done giving you guys spoilers and telling you what's going to happen next. I'm done paying attention to context clues and giving away free gems. This is going on the preview wall, right?
So I remember when we talked about this last week, and you were like, "Oh, so like when I totally missed the clues about Johnny Blaze at the beginning." So right. Remember that was you were like, "So do you think they're actually going to do like how?" And I'm like, "Well, if they're giving the clues, they got to do it, right? There's no way they can not do it, right? Because it's just how this show works." But I didn't think they'd go this fast, dog.
Yeah, that was really quick, like, honestly.
Next episode! And not only, like, at first I was like, okay, they had the bike. We see this guy get off the Good Samaritan. All right, cool. It's Johnny Blaze. He's not going to really Nigga, they showed us.
We got two Ghost Riders on screen at the same time for a second.
We got two Ghost Riders on screen.
And which, by the way, people are saying in, like, written reviews on the internet that he passed the curse on. No.
I don't think he did.
He offered him to be a Ghost Rider.
Right.
If they pass the curse on and we get like long-haired demon hunter, Hellfire shotgun Johnny Blaze later, fine. But I think that he just awakened another Ghost Rider.
Yeah, me too. Because some reason for that. One, it looked different.
Yeah.
Like they made specifically to make sure that the Ghost Rider of Johnny Blaze looked different than Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider.
Visually different.
Visually looked different. Very distinct. Visually looked different. You also got to remember from the episode before where the Darkhold was. They clearly got the Darkhold out of Johnny Blaze's house.
Yep.
So then you look at what happened with Robbie Reyes. Robbie's tied to his uncle Eli, which we called saying was not a good guy.
Right.
Tied there. That's where the Fifth Street Locos went after Robbie. Right? So clearly, Johnny Blaze was probably on, was going after the book or going after whoever took the book from him, or why else would he be there?
The next point you need to make is when they said to him, when the ghost Lucy asked, "Where's the book?" and her husband who died said, "I put it back where we found it." Right. It's back where we found it. I don't know if he said I put it back.
Yeah.
But that could mean that Johnny's mission to put the book back worked.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Very easily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got Johnny Blaze. I screamed.
Dude, what if that because isn't it John Ridley has a show that's quiet. What if it's Ghost Riders?
I don't watch that show. I have another question. Did you watch the second Ghost Rider movie?
No.
Okay. Well, if you go back and watch this episode again, I've been looking at stills on the internet because I just think it's amazing that they put Johnny Blaze on television.
Right.
Like full on motorcycle. Like he's like if you look at the still, he's wearing the suit. Like he looks. It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a really big dent in his head.
Oh, I know. Yes, I noticed that.
Okay, so if I need someone who watched that shit movie to let us know if he endures some sort of head trauma, because if he does, that ties those movies into this universe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch that movie to make sure, but
no.
If someone listening to this has seen that movie,
but I did notice a dent, and I was like, well, again, that's how I know there's two distinctive Ghost Riders because his literally has a dent.
Well, also, the flames are different. The skull is different.
His skull is different shape. Everything was different about it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was different about it. Dude, which means at some point, we're going to get two Ghost Riders. Like, not just in this kind of passing way, we're going to get two Ghost Riders on TV.
And if we don't, I don't think I'd be mad.
No, I wouldn't be mad either, but...
it's Chekhov's... You know what it is? It's Chekhov's Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
You show me a Ghost Rider in the first act, you better find out so much about the third.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. So I was watching this episode and I was like, the only live tweet I did and I was like, dog.
I just wrote, yo!
Are we really? Because like I remember when Gabe mentioned the Good Samaritan, I was like, Good Samaritan, what the fuck? Then when I saw the bike pull, I'm like, no, nigga, they're not gonna. And then when Robbie's telling him what happened, and again, shout out to them moving to 10 o'clock and making. I felt them bullets. I felt them bullets hitting Robbie and Gabe, yo.
Yo, also, like, shout out to the way this thing was shot, because when you hear him, because first of all, I love Daisy trying to cover for him for as long as she did.
Right.
But when he starts to tell the story, we go to commercial. Mm-hmm. And when we come back to talk about something else, and Daisy touches his leg and says, keep telling the story, which is what we as the viewer
right.
Hey, keep telling the story. Yeah, so I just really appreciated that. I was like, I think that's something that this show does really well is shoot for the commercial. Mm-hmm. Like they know where the breaks are going to be. So like, okay.
Well, let's talk about, to jump to the end, let's talk about how this episode ends and knowing they're going on a 3-week break. Like, I had an email, I'll read the email now.
Do it.
Because it ties into this. Hold on, let me pull this. And Fantasia says, that was a great episode with a great backstory. Although the plot still moved and it wasn't just about Robbie. Do you guys know why we wait until the 29th? Because they have killed 3 people and we wouldn't know. And we wouldn't know. No, they didn't. They're not dead. And also, Johnny Blaze, that was him, right? Did he give Robbie his powers or just some of them? I think he just, he granted his wish of allowing him to be a Ghost Rider. He didn't know he was wishing to be a Ghost Rider. That's basically what he did. But
he wished for vengeance.
He wished for vengeance, and he was granted that right.
The ability to get it.
Yeah. So, as far as why we're going on break because, one, it's the election next week. And you have Thanksgiving coming up. So it's like, the Flash.
It was either come back for one episode or wait till the end.
Right, which is basically what the Flash is doing. The Flash is coming back for the 17th, and they're probably going to go on a break again. So they're just going to wait. And ABC is really good at doing that. So that's what's happening there. But they knew that. And so just go with your idea of, you're talking about how they shot this episode. Not only did they know they were going on a bigger break, so they needed to kind of have a cliffhanger to kind of end it right here at episode 6 for a couple weeks to have you thinking about some shit. But you also have to remember, this is also the week that Doctor Strange comes out. So they're not. Remember when the show first started, you try to force those tie-ins. They've really committed to the fact that, oh no, this is the Darkhold is the tie-in to Doctor Strange, and that's it. And we're not going to try to force in some kind of tie-in to Doctor Strange. And to tell you the truth, when you watch Doctor Strange, that'll kind of make sense as to why they don't do that. But I like that. I like the fact that they're so focused on their own story, and they'll fit things into the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe when they need to, but they're not trying to overdo it. And they really shot this episode knowing that, hey, we're going on a big break right now. We're going to leave you guys. We're going to make Fitz, Coulson, and Robbie disappear. We're going to end up with Eli having powers. And we're going to fade the dark. Fade the black.
I'm going to save what happened because I know what happened until the end. You know what happened, right, too, right?
With what?
With what happened at the very end.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that.
We'll save it for the end.
Yeah, we'll save it for the end. But I just wanted, I kind of wanted to throw that in there because, like I said, when you were talking about how they shoot for these commercial breaks, it wasn't just for the breaks. It's also just for knowing that, hey, we're going on break. The same thing they do, we're going to get the same kind of thing when they go on their mid-season break.
Oh, it's going to be way worse than this.
Oh, it's way worse. Like that, somebody might actually die.
Yeah.
Somebody's actually going to die.
Someone else, because they killed May this season.
True. Valid. They did kill May. They did kill May. So, but again, there's another episode that has a lot of stuff in it, But I like the fact that, like Fantasia said, they give us the origin story of Robbie, but at the same time, they're still moving the plot forward of going home. And at this point, they've gotten rid of all the ghosts. Lucy Bauer
Right.
gone. Like Lucy gone now. And so now they've given us Eli as the bad guy that we all knew he would be. And I love that how they did it, because when they started this off as, we were like, hey, man, in the comics with Robbie and those issues, Eli is the vengeance demon. It's not really a vengeance demon, but he's the vengeance spirit.
He's the spirit portion of the Ghost Rider.
Of the Ghost Rider. And he's not a good guy. He is evil. And so I was like, huh, man, they're making Uncle Eli, a good guy. Oh, okay, he's in prison, wrongfully convicted. Okay. Turns out Uncle Eli is not a good guy. He is the bad guy we thought he would be. I like that. I like the fact that they changed it. And I like the fact that they made all three of members of this family smart. Like, Eli is an engineer himself. Gabe is smart, and they've established the fact that even though he hasn't been going to, he kind of dropped out to help his family, that Robbie is too. Because
Right.
Gabe is like, hey, you could have stayed in school, you could have been just like me, and you could have followed in Eli's footsteps, Uncle Eli's footsteps, and been a scientist too. So they've established that Robbie's no idiot. You know, he's not the idiot brother. He's somebody who dropped out to kind of help his family, you know, feed his family and make money for his family. But he's the same thing, and he's a good guy. So I love the fact that they did that. Yeah, I thought that I don't know. I like that they've tweaked the origins of Robbie, and because again, you got to remember this at this point, I think the new Ghost Rider series came out this week, but they only have 12 issues of Robbie Reyes.
Right.
And I think this is a good foundation for Marvel to, and I guess it's easier with Ghost Rider because he's technically, even though he's Robbie Reyes, a new character, is a newer Ghost Rider, he's a legacy character too, so everybody kind of knows what Ghost Rider is. So I guess that's kind of a little bit easier, but yeah, man, I really enjoy how they've been handling that. But then they also give you more origin, not just on Robbie, but on how Eli got involved and what really happened in Momentum Labs, and Eli really is he's a murderer. He's the murderer that he is in the comics.
Yeah, but just way smarter now.
Which makes him a little scarier.
Makes him a lot scarier, if you ask me.
Yeah, a lot scarier. And it finally gives you, and I love the fact that we're 6 episodes in, and we've gotten information on the what they were doing with the Darkhold, what they were trying to do. And here's the thing. Here's something that I was thinking. I don't know if we mentioned it on the show, but when I saw the ghost, I was like, man, this really reminds me of Isodyne and what we saw in Agent Carter and the dark matter and stuff like that.
That's exactly what this is, by the way.
Right. I was like, that really, you know, we just had the last season of Agent Carter, and you know, I love the fact that even though they canceled that series, that they seem to be more I kind of wish they had done this when before they had canceled it, and maybe that show would still be around. I
don't think so. I think they kind of knew the writing on the wall with season 2,
mm-hmm.
which is why they use it. And let's just do this now. So the Darkhold is the 0-point matter. It's the 0-point energy.
Mm-hmm.
This is that from a different form.
Mm-hmm.
More refined, but this is exactly what they did. And notice that last time after exposure, the guy became incorporeal.
Mm-hmm.
This is a more refined version of that. This is all it is. And I like that they're doing this now. I think that if you'd done it in season 1, it had felt too almost kitschy. Or if you'd done it, last season, it had felt too kitschy to tie it like directly to the Agent Carter that happened in between. But with this, it mattering so much in season 4, it allows season 2 of Agent Carter to matter more.
True. Valid.
It elevates it after the point.
True. Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that it really is. It makes me almost want to go back now and watch that season 2 of Agent Carter now.
Me too.
You know, because I think that's going to tie heavily into what's going on here. I mean, they brought in Isodyne, they brought in Roxxon. I mean, they're pulling on all the stops right now. You know, for bringing that stuff in and making that stuff matter and making what happened in that season matter here. And yeah, I love that. It makes you wonder. Like, the thing that Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. does so well is they throw so many things at you that you'll forget. Like, you got to remember, the end of the season, we won't be talking about Eli.
Yeah.
It won't be Eli in the dark. Like, we still got the Senator Nadir. We still got the Watchdogs. We still have all this other stuff going on.
We got Simmons getting put in a bag.
We never got information on what her mission is. We just know she's completely out of contact with everybody. And Fitz was like, he can't get a hold of her at all. And I love that when I think it was May that asked him, "Is this? Are you worried are you guys having like? Is it a professional issue or are you guys having like personal issues?" He's like, it could be both.
Yeah, she's like, one of them I can help with, the other one I really don't want to hear about.
Right. But yeah, like they did it early in the beginning of the episode. Like, beginning of the episode, they literally put a bag over Simmons' head, and we never see her again.
Right.
We don't even get a tease later on with her. Like, they gave us nothing, and you literally, because there's so much other stuff going on in this episode, you forget.
100%.
You forget. So I don't know. You have any theories about what they did with her?
None. That one I'm completely in the dark about. I think it has something to do with the promise he made to the senator in the end of last episode.
I think so too. I'm thinking. Do you think maybe they're sending her to go deal with whatever her brother has become?
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Because
that would involve the senator telling Mace something.
True.
And she was dealing from a position of strength with whatever she has on him.
Valid.
It may have been. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's because. Yeah, maybe you're right though. I think that could be it. Is she the biologist? Yeah, she's the biologist. It makes sense. But I also think that maybe it's she's a bargaining chip.
Well, that's the other thing too. Yeah, you're right.
Like, she's the one who gave Mace the real time leverage to combat her while they're having the debate.
Mm-hmm.
And if her condition is, I know you didn't know all that. How did you do it? He says, I had someone feed me lines. I need her to maybe do spin for them. Who knows?
Right. And like he said that what he said was, he's like, you're doing a favor for the United States government.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, this goes back to why Coulson kind of, even though he wanted this, he kind of doesn't trust Mace and what they're doing.
He really doesn't trust Mace.
Because, dude, like, can we talk about, like, this is classic reckless Coulson again? Like, dude, you literally lied to the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Huh? Daisy? I don't know if I know Daisy. Wait, a guy who...
Why are you putting me on this goose chase?
Yeah,
geese free.
There's nobody on this device on the plane. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, he literally treated Mace like he was an idiot. Like, they literally put the containment unit on the outside of the Zephyr, to hide them. I'm like, oh my God. Like, come on.
Yeah, but to be fair, every time there's been someone over Coulson, he's outsmarted them because they're being stupid.
True.
Like, it kind of makes us respect Mace more, but like, oh, he's not as clueless as the people before him, even though he has those moments where you're like, who is this fucking clown?
Mm-hmm.
Like, challenging Ghost Rider to a fist fight.
Not a good idea. He just broke out the containment unit, which, again, by the way, I love the power levels, man. One thing that I love. Here's another thing, and if you listen to our Flash review, you'll hear us rant about the DC Cinematic Universe. The one thing I always love about, I've been really enjoying, I think that's as a underrated thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is they understand power levels. And it's a very subtle thing. When you watch something like X-Men, you realize that they don't understand power levels at all.
Right.
And it stands out. They're like, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s like, oh, well, we've had strong things in the, Daisy. We've had all these people into this containment unit. He can't break out. There's no way he can break out. It's fucking Ghost Rider, yo. Like, power levels off the charts. literally punches his way out of the goddamn containment unit, yo.
And I love how he says he got his power to sell his soul to the devil. The logical part of my brain says it's not true, and then he punches out. But there's part of me that says "Hail Satan."
Right?
I don't know. It's just he did just put his hand through that thing. That's a pretty good. And I liked that. So normally in shows like this, in situations like this, a hero says, "I can't let my family know what I am. I got to be a tortured secret, holding this secret." When the family eventually finds out, they're like, "We should have known. We love you anyway." And Gabe's like, "Get me the fuck away from him."
Yeah, he's a monster.
He is.
Because he, like you said, he it's just not me even making, he's a monster. And, yeah, and that's part of the tortured soul of being a ghostwriter too. And again, it's another thing that is actually trying to think. You know what? This ties into how that first 12 issues of the Robbie Reyes Ghostwriter went too. Remember when Gabe finds out in there?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a little bit different in how that happens there, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised. It's going to be interesting seeing the family dynamic with Robbie and his brother, and then also Eli, because something thing too, we don't get him confronting Eli yet either when, and he doesn't really show any emotion when Lucy tells him, it's like, your Uncle Eli is the one behind all this shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just love that. I love the fact that he punched the fuck out of Mace. Like, dude, come on. You're not gonna be able to get out of the way of the Ghost Rider. It's not gonna happen. Like, yeah. But he didn't.
This also reaffirmed my theory. Mace is not an Inhuman.
Yeah, I was gonna think that the way he fought and the fact that he did not bleed.
Yo, no blood.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you on this one.
Either you're gonna call him White Luke Cage, or he's a robot.
Right. Like
he's a human fucking torch. Like if all you have to do is say my name wasn't always Jeffrey Mays. Well, what was it? Jim Hammond, and they make him the Human Torch. Mm-hmm. And continue to throw double middle fingers at Fox by creating your own Human Torch. And being legally able to use the name. Mm-hmm. Oh, this show.
Yeah, I noticed that in the way that he fought, the way and even in the way when Coulson kind of explains to him why he needs to let Daisy and Robbie go with him. Coulson basically makes the logical choice, which you would think that a robot would understand the logical choice, and doesn't use emotion for it. It's like he's got to pay eventually, but okay, and allows him to have the op. I'm on this. Jeffrey Mace isn't an Inhuman, and he's got to be something else, and it would make sense. And wouldn't that? Here's the thing. Let's say he's a robot, and let's say he's, an element, whatever you want to call him, right?
Right.
So if he's a robot, who's he to stand in? Who's he to stand in for, though?
Right.
So
as we've talked about in the show, Jeffrey Mace in the past was a replacement Captain America.
Right. No. But I mean, so you have him as the face of S.H.I.E.L.D. because you needed a good face to put there. Coulson really didn't want it. So who is Mace being a stand-in for? Could it be that you wanted to have Nick Fury back, but you can't put Nick Fury out in front, so just saying. Because we know Nick is back, because Nick went and got the damn whatchamacallit out of the fucking helicarrier out of mothballs for Age of Ultron. So Nick is back.
Yeah.
And you're right. You can't let Nick Fury be the face of bring S.H.I.E.L.D. back and be the face of S.H.I.E.L.D. even though he's the guy that runs everything. So what do? You get a stand-in.
If they bring in Sam Jackson to do a little cameo like he did in season 1, and they're like, Fury, he says it's Director Fury.
Right.
And like powers down Jeffrey. Or if he like steps out of a Jeffrey Mace suit.
Yo, dude, listen.
If Jeffrey Mace is in armor, that'd be amazing.
Bruh, like, I'm telling you right now, I've been thinking about this shit for a while now going, I'm just saying, man, like.
Wouldn't it be easier for a one-eyed black guy to pretend to be a big white guy?
I'm just saying, like.
Wouldn't the big white guy be de facto a better face for S.H.I.E.L.D. than a one-eyed black guy?
You know, I'm just saying, people might, tension a little high, might feel some kind of way. The other thing too is remember, I think, well, no, it's not even that I think. Everybody thinks Nick Fury's dead.
Yep. He had a funeral and everything, a headstone.
Yeah. If anybody's looking for me, send them here.
And he had the quote from Jules from Pulp Fiction because Marvel doesn't give a fuck.
So I'm just saying, it could be that this is what Jeffrey Mace is, and again, maybe not, but I'm just saying, at some point, Nick Fury got to come back and take his spot, right?
Has to. No choice.
So, just throwing it out there. So, man, what else did we get this episode?
We got Mac realizing that bad guys name things stupid shit. He's like, who named this stuff, man?
No. Yeah. Let's see. That. I think we got. You don't know where Simmons is. Oh, did you get a strange vibe from May with the book?
No.
So when they got back onto the plane, and like I got a strange vibe when Coulson told her to take the book and hide it so nobody could get it. And then when Matt got on the plane, he's like, "Yo, what are you doing here?" And she's like, "I'm doing an errand for." Like, I don't know. It just felt kind of weird to me. So
I had to rewatch it now.
Yeah, I would rewatch it. It just like both those scenes kind of stood out to me. I was like, And remember, May's had her own run-in with. She's been cured of it, but she had her own run with with Lucy and the Ghost, and then again, he just handed her the book. How to like a lot of time passed between when he handed her the book and when we next see May again. So
well, we even see the appeal of the book when in the flashbacks it seems like Eli's he portrays himself as trying to stop them, but really he just wants the power for himself.
Right. So just saying. I get nervous when I see scenes like that on the show because they don't do them by accident.
Right.
They mean something. And like I said, go back and watch it again, guys. I had a feeling. That's all I'm gonna say. I just had a feeling. Who knows? Hooked on a feel? No. Anything else people want to go into? What happened at the end?
No, another great episode, another out of the park episode. I really like the banter between Coulson and Mace. It's not quite Coulson and Talbot, but we'll get there. Him saying "zero geese, we are geese free," hilarious. And
who, by the way,
oh my God, Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, Johnny.
Like I'm honestly, and I cannot believe they did that.
Johnny fucking Blaze, yo. And like I said, I think we knew they were going to eventually probably do it at some point.
We said it last week.
But 6 episodes in?
We said it last week. It was like, oh, well, none of that was an accident. The motorcycle, the jacket, the posters. I wonder when they're eventually going to bring Johnny. Oh, well, he's here.
Right. Like,
he's here.
We always talk about this. This show does its best when it's moving at 100 miles an hour. And since season 2, actually, technically since the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's what the show has done, and they do not look back, and they take no prisoner. So, yeah. So. All right,
let's talk about the end. So that was 0 Point Energy, right?
Yep.
Okay. And it's not impossible Oh my God, Cleveland just tied it.
I just saw that. We're not gonna be a meme tonight, sir. Not tonight.
Not yet. And it looks like he's developed the ability to generate matter from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen this energy transport things in the past. The question's always been where. And if I see a bunch of Roxxon board members or whatever that was, what was it called? Like the something club?
Oh, I know what you're
The like not Hellfire Club?
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
If we see a bunch of those corpses in like old timey suits, we'll have a pretty good idea of what's happening. But I think they've done a really good job in tying everything together. Like even last season, or was it last season where it opened with Peggy Carter retrieving the Kree corpse?
Oh yeah,
they're able to tie everything back together. This is going to be really interesting because there is no Peggy Carter this year. Mm-hmm. Spoilers for people who don't know that. So while the show, okay, listen to this way. It's different than last year. So last year we knew it was building to a head the entire time. There was just it was a consistent escalation of threats. Mm-hmm. This, I think we've gotten our big bad right now.
In Eli.
I think Eli with this power is outstrips anything that we're really prepared to handle as far as a crew, especially if Fitz and Coulson are gone for a stretch. That said, we saw Jemma Simmons on an alien planet once. She was home in 5 episodes, or what? Yeah, 6 or 7 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Because Coulson did a halo jump through a portal.
Right.
If there's anyone who I know who got trapped on the alien world last time? Fitz and Coulson. Mm-hmm. Who's trapped wherever they are this time? Fitz and Coulson.
Yep.
I just noticed that. And I think that also between those two, I think that it's going to be a team effort to get them back, but that may actually solidify Daisy and Robbie's place with the team because if you notice from last week, these people aren't in good places to be team players. And they said as much, but they still got dragged to the prison. And then Daisy locked herself in a cafeteria with a bunch of prisoners. And Robbie burned a guy and ended a riot. I always want that noted. Like, he didn't just burn that guy. He calmed everyone else down.
Right. Hey, listen, let's, be fair when we need to be fair.
Tell your friends. This is what can happen.
Right.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see if the team needs them and if they're able to step up now that they've kind of gotten they've both kind of proven what loners they are, and now they got to grow into part of the team. And so, where Daisy probably never should have left.
Right.
And so, it's going to be both of them coming to grips with their guilt and their need for vengeance. Because her need for vengeance is against the Watchdogs. Mm-hmm. And her guilt is from everything that happened last season. Robbie's guilt is from putting his little brother in a wheelchair by taking him to a race. And his vengeance should be, in his own eyes, complete. But now that we know about Uncle Eli,
right?
The Darkhold, the Ghost Rider, the shooting, none of it feels like a coincidence. I have a question on what power the Darkhold has over the Rider.
It's actually a good point.
If that book controls one Rider, but if Johnny Boy was able to slip control and create another to fight himself, if I get a Ghost Rider fight, nigga.
We got to get a Ghost Rider fight, though.
If I get a car versus a motorcycle, both of which are on fire.
Don't look. Hey, well, no, I was going to say don't say this, but I was like, no, say it because whenever
I said it last week and we got Johnny.
Right. So,
playing with house money over here, Chris. Shit.
I love it. Like, I remember when we at San Diego Comic-Con when they were asked about, hey, how'd you pick Robbie? It's like, well, they gave us a choice of Ghost Rider, and basically, so what they didn't tell us was we basically said we'll take a. Yeah, we basically said when they asked us what Ghost Rider we want to use, we just said yes.
If Danny Ketch shows up, it's a wrap.
Bruh, listen.
If they bring in Danny Ketch, that complicated fucking backstory.
Bruh, listen. If we get 3 Ghost Riders on TV at one point, yo. Marvel don't give a shit, man.
If that's the show they're working on, Ghost Riders, and just in an anthology series,
listen.
Of Danny and Johnny training Robbie.
We kept saying that like they kept saying that this Ridley show was going to happen, but we never hear anything about it. And they keep telling us like with everything else getting like we've had a show be canceled. We have another show that got a pilot shot and was greenlit. Then we told it's not going to happen. But yet still they keep telling us that this show is going to happen. It makes you wonder, well, why aren't we hearing any information about it? Well, if you come out and you're like, oh, well, the show is Ghost Rider, but we wanted to make sure that we don't spoil anything for this season of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., it then makes sense, right?
Chris, it gets better. Because Ghost Rider wouldn't spoil this season of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, my God, Chris. What if it's Ghost Riders?
That's what I'm saying. Ghost Rider, like multiple.
No, I'm saying plural. But what if that's our Gap show? What if that's our Agent Carter show? What if the episode after Thanksgiving ends with Johnny says, you need to get better?
Because here's the thing, man. It feels weird that there's not going to be a Gap show this year.
It feels super weird.
It feels because they're not coming back until March.
No, something's happening. You sons of bitches. We sniffed it out.
I'm just saying, man. Like what? Like, is there precedence on them sneaking in a show and being like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, we're gonna have a mini series called Ghost Riders from between now and whatever. Like, I don't know, man. Hey, we're just wishful thinking right now, man. Just speaking out.
Googling Ghost Riders television show. See if anyone's bought the URL. I'm dead ass. I'm like, this has turned into a conspiracy for me. No, everyone's talking about the comics. All right, motherfuckers. Sneaking in on me. We'll see.
I'm just saying, man. He has a show, and we just don't know what it is. Let me see.
Gabriel Luna, is that who?
Yeah.
Plays Robbie Reyes. He confirmed, not spelling it out, but he confirmed that with Johnny Blaze. People asked him on Twitter, and he tweeted out a picture from the comic of Johnny and Robbie together. Yeah, the skulls are distinctly different. This is going to be great. I'm really excited.
Yeah, so this is from 2015. This is really talking about. I grew up reading graphic novels. We were back then were comic books. I've written some. I have kids who with as much social impact as American Crime or 12 Years a Slave has, they could not care less. They're just at that age. Back in the day when I was growing up, with things like Star Wars and Superman, they were quality work. We've seen really good things that were based on these fantastic universe, and I can't talk much at all about it. But when Marvel and ABC approached me about the project, I felt like a good fit. Ah, man, they just that's 2015. And here this is from 2016. Let's see. It says. It says Ridley himself confirmed that the series remains in development. They're still no closer to learning what it actually is. Ridley said the Marvel project is very much alive. Well, revealing too much of the content, the writer producer also tipped his head towards the series being both socially conscious and straight entertainment. So, I don't know. So,
we're on to you, Marvel.
Yeah. Something's gonna happen, man. Something's gonna happen, man. So, all right, man. You got anything else you want to say about this?
That's it.
Yeah, listen. We didn't talk about this as long as the Flash one, just because we had a 15-minute Flash movie cinematic universe rant. Because fuck that shit. But this is another one of those weeks where I got to be honest, man. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. won. Like,
I don't think it knows how to lose.
They gave us John. Like, I just can't believe that we're like, when you think about where this show started and where it's at now. Like, I never would have imagined. Like, I was happy. Like, I think they definitely did try to find their footing and how they were going to fit into the universe. Now they're just doing their own thing, still tying in, but so seamless. Like I said, this is a week where previous shows would have had a direct tie-in to Doctor Strange, or they would have done something. They would have had an episode next week to tie in Doctor Strange. Like, by the time the show comes back, Doctor Strange would have been in theaters for 3 weeks. So they're like, fuck it. We made this entire season basically the tie in the Doctor Strange by bringing in a mystical book called The Darkhold, which has direct ties to Doctor Strange. Like, and we're not going to force it in there. You're just going to learn to love it and deal with it. And we're going to bring in the Ghost Rider. We're going to bring in not just a Ghost Rider. We're going to bring in Ghost Riders. Like, so good, fucking good, man. Think of Johnny Blaze, man.
Look, man. All right, bear with me. When we meet Robbie, he's hunting a weapon. He's hunting the Watchdogs who are moving a weapon. It was Lucille in a box, right? Mm-hmm. If they establish that she's a weapon and that he's hunting them, if the power behind the book, the Elder God, Chthun, I can't ever pronounce it right.
Yeah. Chthun.
If he is using Robbie to take out those who would abuse his power, he's not the only. I'm sorry, I'm just getting my brain on this. He is a different spirit of vengeance than Johnny Blaze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait, man. It's going to be so good. This is great, man.
My goodness.
This is so good, man. This is so good. Can't believe it, man. There you guys have it, guys. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or send us an email, mtrailerreviews@movietrailerreviews.net. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio. Search for Super Tuesday Recap. Also go to mtrnetwork.net. You can also check out DPOM on the Unanimous Decision podcast, which it's going to be an interesting podcast. It's tied up now at the top of the ninth, 6-6 in the World Series. We were making jokes about Cleveland, about to blow a 3-1 lead. They don't want them jokes to happen, so we will see.
I'm about to go watch baseball for the first time all year.
Yeah, right. This is basically the only time I watch baseball. That's the only time I give a fuck about baseball.
Top of the ninth, World Series, Game 7.
Yep. Okay.
That's how you get me, apparently.
I'm in now. I care now. I care now. I won't care afterwards. So I'm just saying.
Nope.
I'm in. I'm in for now. Let's use it. So. All right, folks. Thank you very much for listening. We will be back. We won't have a Super Tuesday recap because I think we're going to be on break. We'll be back on the 17th or it's actually the 18th for The Flash. We might do a Doctor Strange review, spoiler review for the Premium Network next week. And if we have time, maybe we'll throw in a show to talk some comic book stuff because I need to catch up. So I'm going to use this time to kind of catch up on that kind of stuff. So we'll figure it out. But we will be back soon. You'll hear from us then. So till next time, we're out of here. Peace.